I've read a thing talking about most of the stuff, 80% of stuff we stress about never even happens. All right? But sometimes when I let the men know, you have to be more than twice the man. You do get those who's like, okay, so I have to do all this work and do all this stuff and all this, increase my emotional intelligence, increase my leadership, do all this. What's she gonna do? Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Nazir.
And I'm his wife, Coach Fatimah.
And I'm Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, and we're also your favorite relationship coaches. And we're also authors of the book,
Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored.
With that being said, we want to address something that's very important today. It happens quite a bit. It happens subconsciously, and it's what's called selective listening, or also known as biased listening. You know, it's really a form of a type of communication where you're listening only for the things you want to hear while really not hearing the rest, almost like a scotoma, right? So with that being said, we want to give you some examples because it happens to us all the time. I mean, you'll see it, and you might even see it today in the comments somewhere that what we're talking about and what we're saying is interpreted in a totally different fashion. Sometimes it's funny. It's really not funny, though, when it's in your marriage or in your important relationships. So we want to give you some examples so you can understand and increase your level of emotional maturity, specifically when it comes to communication. So who want to go first with an example?
I think Nyla had a good one.
Okay. Okay, so here's one that I see a lot and we kind of hear a lot in the comments. Well, see a lot in the comments. I guess I don't really hear them in the comments. But it's the... we talk about polygyny. We train on polygyny. We train on how to do it properly. We're creating content that we didn't have when we started, in our polygyny journey. But when we talk about it and we talk about the good that come from it, this is what is heard. Everybody can do it. Polygyny is for everybody. Not only is polygyny for everybody, we also are giving a pass to the jerks and the people who are doing it wrong or who are predators and all that other stuff like that. Because why am I saying that this is what people hear? Because in the comments, we get it. Everybody can't do it. Polygyny is not for everybody. There are predators out there. We know. We don't think that we have to say it in every video and give a disclaimer when we're teaching and training about how to do it properly.
This is for those who are looking at practicing polygyny in a healthy fashion. If you are in an abused relationship or such and such, dial this number, seek helpline or whatever.
Yes. It's like we know that, we understand that this is not, so be careful of just only taking the pieces of what you think we are saying, because we clearly stated that it can be done properly and this is how you do it.
Right.
Look, there's not enough women in the world for everyone to practice polygyny. So we already know that just mathematically speaking, doesn't matter. Right. So when you think about commenting and you say something like, well, everybody can't, listen, everything ain't for everybody anyway.
And we never said that.
So stop it. When you do that, it just shows the low level of thinking that's what your argument is based on. Everybody can or can't nobody. Please stop it. You know what I'm saying? Just recognize that right away.
Yeah, and another thing we discussed this many times. We trained on this topic many times. But another thing is when we're communicating or when a husband wants to have a hard conversation. And I find that, I said, well, how is he going to do that if we're not listening to him? We just hear what we want to hear, such as, and for example, if he even mentions polygyny, then automatically it means that there's something wrong with his current wife or wives. Because I always want to say subsequent wives as well, because Muslim men, they have up to 4. That's not what he said. That's not what he's saying. I have yet to even hear of one husband say, either through his wife to me or in my presence, there's something wrong with her. I got to get rid of her. And the only way I can get rid of her is by getting another wife to replace her in every single way. I had to tell this one sister, and Coach Nyla and I know, because we coach the women and counsel the women, that your husband didn't tell you he didn't want you anymore. You said that to yourself. He never. And I asked him, did he tell you that to your face? Wow. Oh, no, he didn't say that to me. And I'm like, of course he didn't, because he didn't get married to have multiple wives, to get rid of them, to bring a new one in. It doesn't work that way. But what we hear is, there's something wrong with me. I'm replaced. He's doing this tomorrow, within the next 24 hours, versus maybe developing that desire and the preparedness to do it over time. All that assumption in what he said, which he never said. He's saying something completely different, but we got to be willing to take in the information and let him feel safe to share it, not demonize him for saying just he's interested in polygyny, just simply saying that. It's not replacing. He never said that. He didn't say he wants to divorce you and none of this other stuff. So we're not saying that either. That polygyny is a solution for your previous or current marriages. We're not saying any of that. I don't recall us ever saying it, and we won't.
Another thing we hear is that, not that we hear, just we'll say, give the husband grace. We as women, my co-wife and I, we coach a number of women, and we talk about, and even in our videos, we talk about taking responsibility for what you say, what you do, your actions that you just went and done and all that other good stuff or bad stuff or whatever the case may be. But when we say take responsibility, when we say give your husband grace, take responsibility for your actions and your feelings, but understand that your husband, he may not know it all and he's learning along the way, give him grace. You know what we hear? We hear, see, y'all saying that his feelings matter more than mine. What about me? See, and why do I say that? Because again, we have proof in the comments that under our videos when we talk about that. Well, he didn't think about me. Well, what about my feelings? Well, my feelings matter more than his, or you're saying that my feelings don't matter. And I know everybody's not putting that there, but they're there. And there are people who will put it there, and you'll see the likes, the little thumbs ups in the same comment.
Polygamy wives.
Reporting for duty, husband, sir.
Formation. I am Coach Nazir.
I am Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and Polygamy Bootcamp. And if you think that's how polygamy actually works,
you are sadly mistaken.
But you were laughing, right? I know you're laughing. That's funny. Anyway, we're also the authors of Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And we want to let you know something, because when it comes to practicing polygamy, there's this whole fantasy on how that is, at least on the men's side. Like, I'll do this, they're going to be step, lock, and step. Not at all. Not at all. The challenge is, when we embarked on our polygynous journey, before us raising, 12 children and traveling the world and everything else, it looked a whole lot messier and it was a whole lot more challenging. All right. So what we've done is we put a special gift together for you at polygamybootcamp.com to kind of let you know what the pillars are to really practicing it at a high level, especially if you're new, or if you just have the idea, or maybe you want to just kind of figure a few things out.
Right. Yeah.
Many initial wives believe that they're being replaced, or that their husband doesn't love them anymore, and they don't really know how to deal with that or their emotions.
And many subsequent wives, incoming wives, if you will, or second wives, have the feeling of where do they belong, or that they are not good enough and they have to do extra in order to get the acceptance and the attention and the affection of their husband. And we dispel all of that. Polygamybootcamp.com.
Go there, get your free gift. You will thank us later, especially if you're looking at practicing polygyny in a healthy fashion. Make sure you click the link below. Go ahead and get your free gift, and we look forward to sharing more fun stuff with you. So shape up
or ship out.
Click the button below. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
So that means that you're thinking the same thing. So we want to say, make sure that you are really listening. Listen to get the understanding, to not be biased. And you guys probably have heard that in a number of my videos when I actually stated, listen without bias. Because people start to take the whole thing of me being an incoming wife as a person that don't understand normal stuff. So
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point, because then they'll, and maybe Coach Nazir can chime in on this one, that because we promote pro-morals and polygyny, that doesn't mean we're oblivious to monogamy.
that part.
That men that practice polygyny, they just have no idea about monogamy. They don't care about it. They dismiss it.
Yeah, no doubt. Matter of fact, it's interesting too, because though women are usually the ones that assume and interpret different things and way out there sometimes with their imaginations, and sometimes, it can be on point, it can be true.
Yeah.
But most times, it's like I've read a thing talking about most of the stuff, 80% of stuff we stress about that never even happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But sometimes when I let the men know, you have to be more than twice the man. You do get those who's like, okay, so I have to do all this work and do all this stuff and all this, increase my emotional intelligence, increase my leadership, do all this. What's she gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So they get that when I'm not saying she doesn't have to do work. I'm saying we have to work on ourselves as men. So when I'm talking about increasing your emotional intelligence, women usually already have a higher emotional intelligence level because they are the ones that nurture. They're the ones that nurture and deal with the children and family. They already have that way better than us. They were dealing with Barbie and playing house and doing all that kind of stuff way earlier while we was banging on trucks and jumping out of trees and jungle gyms and stuff and fighting and everything, right? So, they already had a jump on us by the time they reached teenagers, early teen, they already had us psychologically beat, okay? So with that being said, increasing your emotional intelligence means you have to be able to understand better, communicate more. Increasing your leadership means that you have to literally work to be twice the man. Doesn't negate from her doing her work. That just means you are making yourself more available and more attractive when it comes to polygyny because you're going to hit dynamics that you have never experienced before.
Indeed.
So that's again, the selective listening and bias. And it goes into what we say versus what you hear. So I wanted to explain that a little bit more so you understand it and kind of get a grasp of it, because we mean what we say. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be wrong. If we're wrong, let us know, point it out. It is what it is. We're humbles. We're human. We're human. We make plenty of mistakes, all right? But we know what we're talking about here in this arena. So make sure when you're coming correct, because sometimes we have time. And those are teaching moments, whether it's the comments or otherwise. So anything else, ladies?
I think one of the main things is just that when you're feeling yourself wanting to comment on something, and it could be based on emotion or reaction or something like that, take a step back and process it first. That's probably the best advice I can give on that. Like, whether even if you're having a conversation with your spouse about polygyny, or having just a serious or uncomfortable, hard conversation, take a step back. Everything is not going to be solved in one video. Everything is not going to be solved in one email. Everything is not going to be solved in one conversation. So what the advice is to take that step back, process it first, and then see if the knee-jerk reactions that you had will still be there afterwards, and then find a way to communicate those feelings in a proper manner, so.
And understand that there's a difference between the word responsive and reactive. They're not the same. So let's control ourselves and have a response versus having a reaction. And we always say they're first responders, not first reactors, firefighters and whatnot, because they can't show up to something that is really difficult and be reactive. They have to be responsive and in control of their emotions.
Indeed. And one of the ways to help with controlling your emotions is deal with your hormones. So take 6 deep breaths. If you do that, you really lower your cortisol levels, your stress levels. And I'm not talking about all that type of stuff.
Not rage breathing.
But you inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth 6 times, kind of lower your cortisol level. You need to walk around for a little bit, make blue, throw some cold water in yourself, whatever it may be. All right? Focus on you being an adult and being able to respond better, and you'll be proud of yourself and how you show up for those conversations and those moments, which can absolutely show growth. So prayerfully, those helped you and you'll put them into practice. With that being said, what we want you to put in the comments, we want to know, what is your favorite season of the year? What's your favorite season? So put, my favorite season of the year is Spring? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it autumn or fall? Whatever. Say, let us know what your favorite season of the summer is. Seriously. So with that being said, I said of the summer.
Yeah, favorite season of the summer.
Your favorite season of the summer. You know what I'm saying?
Said his.
Hey.
You know what that is.
So let us know that in the comments below. Though we love, the love and everything we see from you in the comments. Of course, also help us out with our algorithms of what we're trying to do. We're gonna end with some GLC.
Make sure you are growing intentionally.
Loving fearlessly.
And connecting on a higher level
Every
single
single
day.
day.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
Peace.